Hello, investors. Welcome to this week's market briefing. So, this is going to be a once a week series that I plan on doing. And what it is each week is going to contain a main topic, and we're going to go over that topic, expanding it. I'm going to go over my decodes, what I expect for the week ahead, what has gone on in this week that has just passed, what I think is going to go on in the months and years to come. We're going to get some nice comparisons. We're going to get some chart data up and some special decodes, special analysis that I've gone into myself to back up my points, and provide some key dates for financial investors that want to have a different take on how to invest. So I've got a lot to talk about today, and right here in front of us I have the lunar and the solar cycles. So this chart, I believe, was created by a YouTuber called Waters Above Crypto. And what I've gone and done is I've gone and created my own version of that chart to help my own investment theories and to see if I can add value to it, or see if there's anything missing or anything that I can do myself to be able to help me and help you guys. So what the idea behind this chart preaches is that the red boxes are lunar cycles and the green boxes are solar cycles. In the green boxes, what we have here is uptrends, as you can see. And then in the red boxes, we have downtrends for Bitcoin. So these are all Bitcoin's lunar and solar cycles. Now, the key theory about this type of analysis is that on our last total eclipse of our lunar cycle, which is our red box, is that we have a bottoming structure. So as you can see, we're currently bottoming within the box. Back here in the last one of December 2022, we were also bottoming in within this last lunar eclipse. Again, last lunar eclipse here, bottoming structure, and these are usually followed by a rally back into the start of the new solar cycle. Rally here, small rally here, and the idea would be we have a rally into here to our solar cycle that starts on the 12th of August. So the idea would be something like this. This isn't exact. In fact, it might not even go that much. We take that off, but the idea would be going up and potentially coming back down. So it could even be something like this. Don't take this as literal. We get some more chop, come back up to, even if it's just 100k, then we could come back down, gather some support, and then we kind of go from there. That's just a idea setup, nothing to take literally. Let's return this back onto lock mode. Oops. So I'm trying out TradingView, so I'm trying to figure out all the different buttons and stuff. Lock drawings into place. Does that move it? Okay, perfect. We're all good to go now. So the next point I wanted to talk about is that we're in the year of the horse. The last year of the horse was 2014, and this is the type of price action we got. We was in a lunar cycle, and we got this massive correction, and even when we tried to go up, we didn't even go up that much. So if we're going to take sort of the similar levels, even though this isn't an analysis to have on its own, we're in our red box. We've come down into the final lunar eclipse of the lunar cycle. Then don't forget the year of the horse doesn't stop until about, is it February 27? So all the way somewhere like over here. So potentially we could finish our bottoming structure here, come up, come back down because we're still in the year of the horse, and then hopefully when we're fully into this solar cycle, then Bitcoin starts reaching new time highs, and then this is basically the bottoming structure we had back here, which that actually led to massive percentage gains. So if you bought here, you had all the way up to here 600 percentage gains. So with Bitcoin's diminishing returns, even if we had, I don't even know, from here, say even half of that, but let's just say 200%, it would basically be about 200k Bitcoin by 2027. No, 2029, I believe. The start of the first January 1st, 2029 is the end of our what's to be our solar cycle. Right, let me just check my notes to see where I want to go to next. Right, solar cycle theories. So, like I said before, we have our solar cycles. This is our next solar cycle. Solar cycles offer gains. The last time we had a solar cycle this long was from 2008 to 2010, which was 871 days. And I put this in the geometry calculator, and what I found is, I haven't updated it, but it was the exact same days between 2008, 2010 and 2026, which is the 12th of August, the start of our solar cycle, to the 1st of January 2029. And even though we don't have Bitcoin data from all the way back there, what we can see is that we were also in a solar cycle around here. And if we had data from back here, what it probably tells we were somewhere down here, and then probably would just go up like this all the way until 2010, which ends it. So we'd start around about here, which is what we're doing now. So pretend this is our August 12th. We're coming up into it, starting our solar cycle. So really we'd be down here, coming up, and then we get this massive percentage gain. But in the midst of this, we'd probably be some corrections. It's never any asset class never just goes up in a straight line. There would be some pullbacks, some differences on the way. But the idea is we would finish it very strong at new all-time highs. So that's something that I found really interesting. Next, what I want to talk about is a decode of Donald Trump. So if I get the decode up here, Trump 88, 28. So now Donald Trump is 79 years old. He's about to turn 80. When you ask ChatGPT and just people who know about numerology, they would know the 8 has a value of wealth. In Chinese culture and Feng Shui and other types of cultures, 8 signifies wealth. So now the idea would be behind this is that if Donald Trump turns 80, this is when he himself will make a lot of money, because 8 symbolizes wealth. This could be the year he makes a lot of money, which would make sense because he's always talking about issuing in the golden age for America through being the crypto capital of the world. That's why he's putting tariffs on everything. And we know August is the 8th month in the Gregorian calendar, and even in the Roman calendar, and in the Chinese lunar calendar, which backs our theory of going all the way back over here, coming up back into the 8th month, which would be August. when I mentioned the lunar calendar and the Roman calendar, that would actually be October, because octo. So October is another month to watch out for. When we go back on the decode, let's find that. Trump adds up to 47 in reverse cipher and also Latin. What's something that people have been looking towards and SEC have been trying to push towards is what we call the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act of 2025. Now, if we take that name, put it into our decode, what we get in Chaldean is 74, which is the mirror of 47, which is in Trump's name. Now, it would make sense for this act to come into fruition fully, where I mean liquidity comes into the market, institution comes into the market, the masses are using it seamlessly within Donald Trump's term of presidency, and it would make sense for some sort of event where people get money, especially Donald Trump, to take place during his 80th year alive. So if we're taking it from his 80th year alive, it would be from June 14th, 2026, when it's his birthday, to next June 14th, which will give us exactly a year for when he's 80 on the planet. This will also lead back to the cycles, because we would have had our second solar eclipse, and if we just check when our solar eclipse after that is, in 2027, let's see, because I've not actually checked this yet. Our next solar eclipse after that, so we've done our February one, would be the 2nd of August. So potentially somewhere February would be good, because it's not until June, July, about a month after, into August, when he turns 81, which is very interesting. So I'd probably look somewhere between 6th of February and around the 6th of February, because we tend to go up into the solar eclipses. It can be before or can be like after, but just around them is key dates to watch out for, which I think is very interesting. So that is the decode that I wanted to share. But also, what's it very interesting within this is that if we go to the days of the week, August is the 33rd week. So everyone knows about the big 33 number. It's the Freemason number. So it's definitely one to keep an eye on. What will happen during this week? Will they play us with geopolitics, that sort of narrative? Will that make the market go up? Will it make the market go down? Well, obviously, we know if we're saying that we plan on going up into the solar eclipse, then or around it, potentially even before it, and then after this energy is kicked in, we could pull back. So it could be very interesting to see what they pull. But the idea is that if we know we're meant to be going up into it, if we're already quite high up before we hit this solar eclipse on the 33rd week, then they could potentially do a ritual to make it go down. On the other hand, if we're not up and we've just had this solar eclipse, this could be a ritual to make asset classes go up higher. Because if you look at how we're basically bleeding out anyway for I don't even know how many days. If we check how many days we've been low from our all-time high, it's starting to approach 200 days, and by the time we hit, it'll be 300 days by the time we're in our solar cycle. So that's very rough. Let me just check my notes again to see which direction I want to take this. Hope you guys are having a great day though. And I do plan on doing more decodes like this because they really do interest me. think we're going to get onto gold, silver, Bitcoin dominance, and alt rotation. So, as you can see, gold has had this massive drop off. And if we just split from top to bottom, we can just turn the silver one on like so. Both of these asset classes have had massive corrections. Now, what people have said, and past data iterates this, is that when precious metals drop, we get some form of rotation into risk assets. Now, this doesn't happen instantly, it takes time, but this could be another supporting factor for us to go up into our next solar cycle. I believe it took 200 days for a rotation to happen, so it's not instantly like I've talked about. But if we just see when Bitcoin topped, for example, in 2021, actually we could even do 2025, so we had a top in from around July 2025 and October 2025. So if we go back to our charts, July and October, see if we had, here we go, October. For both charts, you can see we had this correction. Let's map it out. Only 11%, but that'll be a lot of money. Not sure what the exact amount is, but that is the sort of rolling over we do. This looks like it was quicker time frame, but when bigger drops like this happen, it will take longer for it to rotate, if it does at all. Let me just give you another example. So that was our recent top in 2020, 2025. 2021, I want to be looking at the dates of April and November. So if we go back to our charts and find April and November and see what happened. So it's all the way in 2021. See if I can align this a bit better. October, so be March, April here. As you can see, in both of these asset classes, it's a dip. 19% here. April lines about here, depending on where you want to take the date from, but that is also a bottom. So even if we take from start of the year, let's say January, that is 15%, which is quite a lot for gold. And then if we take how many days that took, that rotation, only 60 days. It didn't take that long actually. But this is a historic drop for precious metals, 100%. And if we just go ahead, compare it to the dominant chart. Whoa, what have I got here? Fib pull. Back here in April time, this was when our dominance crashed, which lines up with precious metals and the Bitcoin top. And then also we have, which was here, sorry, just so you can see it. Let's see if I can mark it with a circle. Let's see, I'm still newish to trading view, doing analysis like this. So if we mark that there, we'll clone this, and then we also have in November time, coming into December, which was this here. 100 days for Bitcoin dominance to drop. So that backs our iterations. I think we had it in 2025. Was it 2024, the last mini alt season? I believe it was this here. So as you can see, it only takes dominance to drop 11% for alts to go up, depending on what alts you're invested in. Next alt season going forward will probably be a utility run. Tokenized assets are massive. Obviously, it's not financial advice. None of this is financial advice. This is my own passion. This is what I like to do. I like the crypto space because of the gains it presents, the opportunity it presents. I like analyzing stuff. I like decodes. I like looking for patterns. I like combining the two. This is why I do this. And I just want to share that with you all so you can turn it into your own. Take what I have, make it into your own, develop it, make it better. This is what I really have a passion about, and I like sharing it with others, which is why I've started this IBIS Connect channel. Obviously this is a series that I will be doing for Patreon members, but I did just want to, going forward, I don't know yet, but if it's wanted and if it's like this sort of analysis, then I will continue. Let me just check my notes to see where I want to go next. Yes, others. On this others chart, I've just listed solar eclipses and lunar eclipses. So just start with these circles I pointed out now. So triple top, head and shoulders. This next phase will be very interesting because when it gets to around this kind of area, we usually have a bounce back up. I marked this date of June 18th. It's on my radar. The reason why it's on my radar was because I was just counting certain days. This is fun, more for fun. This isn't actual analysis. This is counting days between tops, bottoms, and various points of special events that matter to see where our next pivot point might be. 18th of June, something that I had on there to see if anything would happen, but just take that merely as fun rather than anything else. Moon cycles. What we can see here is going up or down around total lunar eclipses, going up, not doing up, going up around total solar eclipses, and normal eclipses have a way, but just less of a way in the direction. So total lunar eclipse, 25th of May, followed by a massive correction in others and altcoins. Partial lunar eclipse here, also followed by a massive way in, bottoming around our total lunar eclipse. This was an alt season around the 2nd of October. This led to our mini alt season towards the end of 2024, which is when Trump was doing all of his shenanigans. The August total solar eclipse here, we would be expecting some form of move up, some form of bottoming structure already been formed. Don't forget we have our solar eclipse in February. We should probably be out into a good range by then, I see. Definitely out of here. I don't really see this going any lower, to be honest. We've held support on some key liquidity points. As you can see, this green line here, it just touches through these points and it's kind of been holding quite well for, let's check how many days that's been holding. About 50 days. Again, kind of this cluster around here, multiple clusters, these 4 circles that I've pointed out, which I find very interesting. Let's see if there's anything on this chart I'd like to talk about. I had this theory about Mercury transits kind of marking our bottom. This will see if I can put it on the weekly, see what happens. More of a theory right now, nothing to talk about much, but Mercury transit here looks like to be a bottom of our weekly structure for others, followed by a massive point up again here, followed by a massive point up, and I believe we had a Mercury transit somewhere upcoming, but I don't remember where it was. Well, we can try and find it now actually, because it might be something to take into consideration. How are we going to go about finding that? Let's see. Mercury transits 2027. Wasn't 2026. Was it 2020? Oh, I think I did like some sort of analysis that I might say for another time, which presented, I don't know if it was near like 2013, because 2030 coming up, because that was the next. I think it was 2031 or 2032, which was the year of the pig, which I expected Bitcoin would be in a lunar cycle. I think the Mercury transit was somewhere over there, but this was like decodes and analysis in development. But let's just see if we can find the Mercury transit. Even though it's a few years apart, it could be interesting to see if it could come into fruition and mark a bottom for us. Let's let this load. Mercury transit. Here we go. 2032. What Chinese astrology is 2032? Zodiac sign. What zodiac sign is 2032? I believe it was the year of the pig, which could be very interesting. No, it's the rat. Yeah, it was the rat, because the rat is the year Bitcoin was kind of came into fruition. So it could be very interesting to see. People might think it will do well, but it might do well, but only the start of the year of the rat might be bad. And that might be the Mercury transit that marks our bottom, even though that's many years ahead. So let's not delve into that. I think some last little bits I want to talk about was SEC clarity. What did they do? I believe there was some clarity on some assets. That's disappeared, but I asked ChatGPT to just give me a rundown on the assets. I believe they delve into what counts as what now. So basically, the US Securities and Exchange Commission issued new guidance explaining how existing US securities laws applies to crypto assets without creating entirely new laws. And the big takeaways were, instead, the SEC introduced a clear classification system. So we're finally going to get some clarity about what crypto is what on blockchain is what. So classes are digital commodities, Bitcoin and Ethereum, digital tools, which are utility tokens, digital collectibles, which is NFT and memes, stable coins, everyone knows about them, and digital securities, tokenized stocks and bonds. This is what is, I'm telling you, this is the next kind of big money opportunity. Get yourself into tokens that have value and are trying to tokenize real world assets. That is where the money is to be made. Let's see, anything interesting. Important nuance: it can become a security if it's marked as an investment and people expect to make money from it. The SEC is stepping back from most crypto. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission is expected to handle more of the market. This is a huge shift in regulatory power. Bullish for long-term crypto, less fear of SEC lawsuits, more institutional confidence, easy to get funding, which is very, very interesting. Let me just check my notes, see if there's anything else I would like to cover for you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. If any of you guys have anything you want me to cover in the future, or any feedback or comments, I believe we're approaching about the half an hour mark now. If you guys think it's too long and maybe you want it to be 20 minutes, 25 minutes, or even longer, just let me know. I can pack some more value into this. But just as a close off, as we know, our 2008 to 2010 cycle is similar to the solar cycle that is coming up. So if going off that, there should be big gains expected for crypto. This year looks to be a bottoming year, potentially similar to what we had around here. Like I said, it led to, was it like a 300 or 600% gain just for Bitcoin itself? And if we have this, we could really be seeing 200k Bitcoin over the 2026, 27, 28, 2 years and however many months it is, which could be very interesting. Don't forget we have that Trump decode with the 8 equals wealth. Just keep that in your head whenever you're seeing 8 in symbology. There could be some sort of wealth behind it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.